As we continue the Penguins conversation, Jeff, I cut you off at the end, so I'll go to you first, though, and ask you about who would be untouchable. I think we know the top-end guys here, although two of the three are without a contract. To your point, if you're in it to win it, and they should be, who's untouchable, who is touchable right now? And I would include Samuel Poulin and Nathan Lagaray and any of their top-end talent.
Yeah, I don't care about any of them, Theo Joseph included. Seriously, if I could, the window is still open. Maybe this much. You still have your stars here now. They still can play at a pretty high level. I would trade anything and everything if you could help your hockey team this year. Seriously, I don't care about the future. They're in a different spot than the Penguins, or excuse me, than the Steelers, where the Pirates are, obviously. They still have an opportunity with superstar players that may not be here next year. I am rolling it all in on this season.
I would agree, and you know what? I would actually throw a name of Evgeny Malkin in there if the right deal were to come to you, where you could make your team better.
But he has to agree.
I think again, anything like that. I mean, he would have to agree to it. But my point is, I mean, Crosby obviously is untouchable. I don't think you can replace what Letang does, and so he's untouchable. You probably aren't going to trade Tristan Jarry. Other than that, I would have to see what the deal looks like. And obviously, it would have to be something that makes them better this year and maybe next year at the most. But to me, I really believe that this window is open now, as Jeff said. You have to be open to just about anything. And Malkin is a guy at the end of the year, I mean, you've got to give him another contract, or you've got to basically decide to let him walk away if he wants too much money. So I would say he's somebody who's on the table. I'm not saying you should trade him. I'm not saying you should trade him easily. But to me, I agree with Jeff, man. It's all on the table. You got to try and win.
And I don't know. I mean, Jeff, before what I was going to say before the break, I mean, you sound like Steeler fans like a year ago, right? Or at least maybe the Steeler front office anyway, maybe not the fans. Hey, we're going to go all in one last ride for Ben. You're right. They're not in the exact same spot as the Steelers are. But I think Steeler fans this week are waking up to oh, my God, Kevin Colbert said Mason Rudolph out loud. What are we going to do? At some point, the Penguins are going to be there. Okay, so, you know, I think that the Steeler fans want to have some semblance of a team. So I think Penguin fans also want to have some semblance of a team in the post-Geno Sid era, whenever that begins. So that was my point. As far as trading guys, I mean, I think like Matheson is a guy, it's kind of the timing sort of stinks, him getting injured. He's a guy that if you're going to get an impact players cost money. Mike Matheson makes money, okay? Kasperi Kapanen makes money. You're not going to be able to flip Chad Ruedel, who's playing really well right now, for a guy that is going to be a semi-star or a significant role player.
Will, what about
he's gonna cost way too
Brian
much
Dumoulin? Let me throw that name. He's not had his best year. He's still valuable. What about
Pedersen? I mean, Pedersen, you know, I will give him a shout out for bouncing back because he was awful on Thursday night against the Devils, got benched the second half of that game, has played pretty well the last couple days. You know, I'd get rid of Pedersen before I get rid of Dumoulin. That's just me.
Well, here's one thing I would say, Will. If the Steelers had won the Super Bowl this year, nobody would be talking about Mason Rudolph or caring what next year looks like.
Right, but I mean, like when
the Steelers have. But my point is the problem the Steelers have is the last 10 years they've won 3 playoff games. And so going all in and ending up with a team that was 9-7, slopped together a 9-7 season and then got boat raced by Kansas City. Yeah, everybody's panicking because it's like, well, they ain't won a Super Bowl in 13 years, and now it could be another 13 years. With the Penguins, what we're saying is, hey, if you go all in and you have a chance and you actually win it, I don't think anybody's going to care what the next 2 or 3 years looks like.
I mean, look, they've played very well. I think still, you know, when you look at that division and you look at the other side of it, you know, when you look at the Atlantic, it is hard for me to see them in the top 4. I mean, but the playoffs, like Jarry could play his tail off. We could get first half Evan Rodriguez. I mean, they definitely have more of a chance than I think the Steelers did this year of being a legitimate contender. At the same time, though, there is going to be a future at some point. So, Jeff, while I appreciate, you know, yes, I think the fans in the moment will not care that they traded away 17 draft picks to get the one guy that gets them over the top for 1 year. But I think at some point there is this, like, I'd like to have a team in 2030 that I'd like to go pay to see.
I say this. I don't think they have much talent in the minors. So if you're trading away draft picks, it's not like there's a core waiting to be the next core of this team. That's why I'm saying go all in. This is your shot now. You're going to lose maybe one of those 2 Hall of Famers next year. This is going to be your opportunity.
All right, we got to take a break. We have an opportunity to talk some Steelers coming up because it's the Combine. Sooner or later, it's free agency, and then we got the draft, and we also have a lot of interesting questions. We'll talk about that when we continue right here live. It's the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.
Brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Get the app today.